Is that a good enough clap for you? Hey, I'm Liam Slater and I am joined today on our watch along by current British undisputed Rev Pro champion Michael Oku. We're going to look through some early matches, a match between us two, and then a pretty prominent match from your career quite recently. So with that, let's get started. So this is, if I remember right from Cage Match, I want to say 2017, mate.
No, this would have been
2018.
2019.
Oh, okay. So we are in Sheffield here.
Yes.
This is Sheffield City Hall, and this is Breed Pro Wrestling. Damn, what a what a ball!
Like every time he did that, he must have scoliosis.
Yeah.
There's no way. Right, so this is a tournament match to determine the leader of the new breed, which is going to be like their mid card, the future wrestlers championship, and I believe this is my breed debut.
Yes.
Where I'm in this tournament and having this match with Shefu.
All this character is real, like pre-COVID height of Brit Rest, like almost like, I don't want to say in-jokey, but like quite in-jokey is like, it's funny because it's Creed, because wrestling.
Yeah, it's such a wrestling thing that nobody likes Creed outside of wrestling. Here he comes. Here he comes.
Not Michael Oku at this point.
Yes, that's true.
OJMO.
That's true, yeah, 100%.
I've got a couple of questions about this, but I guess I'll start on the name first.
Right.
So the OJMO is part of the, like, there's Michael Oku in there, right?
By the way, I'm telling that guy that, like, they're not really reacting that loud. I mean, that's what I was saying. I was like, it's like they don't really know who I am, but it's okay. We're going to bring him in. It was just like an amalgamation of like kind of some of my names.
Yep.
So like my full first name is Oku Abasi, Nigerian name. Most of my family, being the youngest, they call me Junior. They still call me Junior. And then Michael Oku's right there.
Yep. So yeah, my final question as we get kicked into this match is, Now We Play is such a huge part of Michael Oku.
Yes.
And I assumed that came in later, but that's here now.
That's from the very get-go.
What is Now We Play?
I don't know. I don't know. So, okay, this is where I stole it from. I stole it from Ric Flair.
Uh-huh.
When he grabs the leg, he would say, "Now we go to school," to signify during the figure four a lot of the time, and then it will always get reversed or whatever. And in training, I was getting my half crab over in training.
Yes.
And I would start shouting, "Now." I didn't know he was saying, "Now we go to school." I just guessed another thing he said.
Yep.
I just said, "Now we play," as my business is about to pick up kind of thing. And I just thought, especially during that time, in like 2017 when I started, NXT was huge, like the takeover era. And I felt like theme music, catchphrases, and people's finishing moves, if you just had that dialed in, then that's like, you're off to a good start in terms of getting over. So I thought, frick it. Now we play, I'm going all in on it. I'm going also all in on the half crab being my finish.
Where are you on the card here, Mike?
Yeah, this card is wild.
Wow,
to say they're in Sheffield, there is one person from Sheffield on this card, and it's Ivy.
Right.
And that's it. Because I looked at the cage match, so I was like, I wonder what this looks like. There's one.
Here we go.
So again, like I mentioned earlier, in terms of like, there's some very like, so there's some real like pre-COVID height of Brit Rest tropes, and I think this is an example of it, of like such a big character moment that like gets the laugh that comes through, and it was so, I felt like I saw it all the time. That doesn't look like a standard backstabber. That looks like a slight variation into it. Yeah, cool.
But the reason I didn't keep it is because not everybody could take it well.
Yeah,
it's pretty.
fair.
I was in training. No, everybody was afraid to try and even take it in training. But Shotzi Blackheart was there at this training session in Brixton.
Wild.
Because of course.
Yeah.
And she was like, "I'll take it," and it looked great on her. I was like, "Okay, I'll use it." So some people, they could take it no problem. Some people couldn't. So I just said, it's not going to be part of my repertoire forever. I said at the time that this was my 100th match. I think I was like off by one or two.
Yeah.
I did a bad job of counting. But again, we'll just keep it as match number 100 in canon. that this is what it is. Now that's
Great sell, and as we go further into it, there's another sell that you do, but I think a big sorry, I've really cut off your story.
Go ahead.
A huge highlight of you is like your sells that come off of stuff, and we'll see some more coming through into it. But yeah, a great sell that comes into that.
There we go. That was my idea.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I think Shay was hesitant on if he thought I would want to sell the 1-inch punch.
Yeah.
And so I said, no. I'm going to take it like you've given me a John Woo dropkick.
Yeah.
We're going all the way. And my philosophy, the only philosophy that I think has stayed with me the whole time in wrestling is to give everything into the sell.
Yes.
All my energy into making the person look good or every move look as good as possible.
Yeah. And then to kind of backtrack again, you mentioned about the shows. Again, it's just a different time period where there's a show on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every single week.
Honestly.
Whereas now, I can't remember the last time that I've done like a Saturday and Sunday. You're probably slightly different, but like a Saturday and Sunday, like on a consistent basis. Not like big shows, but just shows that are happening.
Just shows. Yeah, Sundays are pretty much all the time. And then there'll be the odd Saturday for me now.
Yeah.
But they're still happening. And this is
great drop kick.
Yeah, I really liked how we put that together. Putting this together.
Jackhammer.
Yes, that's jackhammer.
Now, is that? Great pop into the single leg. A half crab.
Yeah.
But is the jackhammer to pop yourself?
Yes.
Wonderful.
100% to pop myself. But also, that might have been the first time I had done that. I've done that maybe a couple more times. I always realized that when Goldberg did the pin for the jackhammer, he would hook it.
Yep.
Over the leg instead of on the inside.
And
I thought, well, that's perfect for a kick out into the crab.
For sure.
So I made sure to tease trying to jackhammer earlier and then tease the crab and then make it a thing. I really feel here that I was still just guessing what good matches were.
Yeah.
I didn't really... I think now I have a formula, multiple formulas of like how to have a good match. But here it was very much, let's just figure out ideas and hopefully it works. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I always felt confident walking in front of a crowd.
Yep.
That wasn't an issue in terms of actually performing, but I wasn't confident of like, am I a good wrestler? If that makes sense.
And not a good wrestler because you've just been choked out by Shea there. So this is from North Wrestling for the North Championship. Your debut at
Return.
Oh, was it a return? Oh, yes, of course.
One time in 2019.
Yes.
In that busy year.
Yeah.
It's Lucky Kid.
There we go. Tom Campbell saying it's a return.
He's on it.
In the black and white stripes.
Yes, this is it. That's it. They booed because I'm from London.
Yeah.
I really wanted to try and see if I could be a heel while saying, hey, but you can't boo me because I'm... I support Newcastle, so surely I'm a good person.
Yeah. And the gear as well is Newcastle inspired, right?
100%. Well, that and Goldberg. I know we spoke about
Goldberg. Yeah, of course.
And the jackhammer.
Yeah, no, I see it, yeah.
But yeah, that was actually one of my favorite gears that he had. He had it for only like 1 month in 2003.
So I had cut a promo. The reason why I'm wearing like a cut-off top over the jumper is because the pre-match promo that I filmed the month before was basically about you coming in and challenging for the belt.
Yes.
But you not having any sort of like right to challenge for the belt and you think you can come up to here. And I believe what I say in the promo is that I'm going to make you tap out in 3 minutes.
Yes.
Which plays a factor into how this match starts.
That just came back to me of, well, yeah, that's why we started hot.
Yes. Yeah. And again, like I always, like for me, like I always try and like, at least with the promo stuff, like I'll always try and leave something where it's like there is consequence to this, there is a reason to this, so you should be watching the promo, because if you're not, if I don't give them that, then what's the point of watching the promo?
Then don't watch the promo. Yeah, exactly.
So this is something how I always like start my matches. I'll always start with a handshake, and the reason why I like doing that is because like it's kind of like my mindset of pro wrestling, and then it's kind of open to what the other person wants to do with it. So there we get a slap.
Yes.
And again, plays into this side of you being the heel, but like more for a fact of like goading into it, right?
100%. And I wanted it to be the weakest slap possible. Yeah. Like it's not one to hurt you, it's just to...
An annoying. I'd done a lot of like slow wrestling, which is where I was like, this now needs to turn up and go. So this is in essence my regular comeback spot that we're putting in real early.
We said, fuck that.
Yeah.
So smooth.
Real smooth. And again, here we're going, I've said, I'm going to tap you out in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then what actually happens is that you get the crab on, and what if I tap now?
Yeah, make a thing of it.
I always think there's a fun idea of me actually tapping there and like.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of.
Of course, it's the most Liam Slater thing ever.
Yeah.
Just beat me in a minute.
How about let's say that long run just out of nowhere.
But how exciting would that
It
be?
would be insane.
Like,
Yeah, it'd be insane. Yeah, this person who just didn't earn it
just comes in and
very
takes
quickly.
it.
Yeah.
So obviously we both do a variation on a Boston Crab.
100%.
What was it for you that brought you towards the half crab?
If he wants to leave as North champion right now, hooks him up, packing.
Oh yeah, you took that so well, yeah.
Oku gets a run up.
Right. Your Fosbury flop is the
Right.
wildest dive going.
Right.
And I'm sure you get told that time and time again. Similar to the question that I've just asked, what is it about that move that you were like, I tell you what, I'm just going to do a backflip over here?
I was in secondary school and we're doing a flex, we're doing things and we're learning the Fosbury flop and I did them really well. And then I had a also just a quick side note on this. I think this is all on the fly.
Yes.
This is probably like the most I've done on the fly.
Oh,
As in the most craziest things I've done on the fly.
Yeah.
Like this.
It's a backdrop over.
Yeah. This is all on the fly, which is just crazy. But anyway, Fosbury flop. There was a 4-way in like Unit 9 with like LJ Cleary, Elijah, Leighton Buzzard, and we're gonna do a dive train in like 2018.
Yeah.
They had done all the dives I've ever done in wrestling, which is suicide dive, flip dive.
Yeah.
I think one of them doing a moonsault. So I said, I can do a Fosbury flop. I had never done it on a wrestling show.
Yeah.
I just gave it a shot and then it became my signature.
Yeah. To this, like, do you prefer a plan?
Way more.
He's on the fly.
Yeah.
And I felt like I got that vibe from you.
How do you feel at this point in time with yourself in terms of the stock that you've got, like the positions that you're going into, like what's that general feeling feel like?
So this might have been one of the earlier times where like I'm being brought in like this. Immediately into a title match. It's like we need a name. This is one of the first times that I was booked like that. To come in, hey, have a title match in the main event because we think that you are of that value. So that was a very interesting position to be in and very exciting.
Hell yeah.
Hell of a drop kick.
So this is a move that I use a fair, like now and again, and I've dropped it out of my arsenal, mainly because, and you could see it happening there a little bit, I was struggling to get the leg. And what I found is that, especially as matches go on, and I'm crap and I get blown up, I lose the execution out of it. And I don't know if you're similar. I've got moves, and probably you mentioned about the backcracker. If I can't hit a move 3 times, if it doesn't come off right 3 times, then I'm cutting it. I felt like, again, if we're talking like inside of baseball, like the way that you structured your back end and how all that came in together was really helpful for me at a time period of like being in these positions. And again, you took that well good. Was really helpful. Like, how have you found in terms of finding your formula?
The thing was, if you're on a show with Speedball, and he was always doing shows in the UK, especially at that time, you're fighting for second place in terms of having the best match. So I thought, this is a great opportunity. And I got, oh my God. I forgot that. Man. But yes, people might barely, he gave me like, I've asked for feedback from people before and they've been useful, but when he gave me feedback for like a match I had with Curtis, it was the longest bit of feedback ever.
Goes for a splashdown.
Great splash. And again, the way that you've built the splashes gets us to that point where it's like, we've hit it once, we've hit it again,
kicked out at one.
Kicked out at one. This must be the one.
Yeah, 100%. I also remember every time I was climbing up, they were chanting, "Watch the lights."
Yes.
And at that time, I didn't know why they were.
And
I could see it on my face. I'm just like, I don't know why you're saying this. Oh, I guess because there's lights here. I didn't know there was a whole lore.
Yes. So I think we're meant to, and what a facial from you, by the way. Like, I think about this match, like I think about these facials, and I think about that moment there. Like,
I think someone drew this.
Yes. They did. Yeah, and again, like I'm expecting cool. We get to ropes. There's something that happens. It's into here, and we go. And I was like, Yeah, cool. And
Yeah. And back to like again, the kind of say on the fly aspect of it. I just in that moment felt we're not getting higher.
No, yeah.
If
And
we
it's
get to ropes and then we got to rebuild again, I just don't think we can get higher.
So with that, we come to the final match, which I don't think probably many people have seen, just the way the distribution is, but it'd be a debut for you at PWG. Our final match that we're watching is your PWG debut in the Globe Theatre, right?
Yes.
And this is against Takeshita in the 2023 Battle of Los Angeles. PWG for me in that 2010, 11, 12 time period was the best. Unreal, like the amount of money that I've spent on buying stuff from high spots to get imported over was just silly. How influential was PWG to you?
It was just like opening your eyes to what wrestling could be. I'd already then started, the Wrestling Channel.
Hell yeah, the Wrestling Channel's the best.
Learning about Japanese wrestling through there, but then seeing US indie wrestling and seeing what people were getting up to at such an intimate level, I was enamored by it so much. And like
Oku, in addition, making his pro wrestling.
It was just crazy when that bell rung and I knew that Excalibur was commentating.
Right, yeah.
All those other little details.
That you know that you're going to be in a PWG highlight video.
Let me tell you, man, couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Now, just right there, there was about 3 people in one of the little royal boxes that were chanting Oku. I also then looked to the left there as well because I just recognized Dave Meltzer in the front row. I was like, is that Dave Meltzer with a face mask on? Yes, it is. There were 3 people in the royal box that would just chant Oku. They were the only people at that point that were for me in any kind of capacity.
What a specimen that Takeshita is, right?
But deceptively gigantic.
Yes.
He's a big man.
Gets turned around.
Something that helped me, I think, with this match was that he was going to do the heat on me. I didn't think that would happen. And that's back to what I was saying about like acknowledging those people. Once I knew that, okay, they had 4 people that were on my side, once I did my shine, I made sure to just turn right and look right at them.
Yeah. Did you feel the pressure going into this?
Oh my God. Yes. The imposter syndrome. Every wrestler goes through it.
I was literally speaking to Nathan about this, after the Rev Pro match, but continue on.
Yeah, but this was a big one. When you think about all the steps that it takes to be in this possession here, and that, there you go.
Great stuff.
The steps that come into being in this position. I was the first person they announced as being in Bola to begin with. So I was like, what the hell is going on with that? The email even to come in, I thought was spam. I thought Mad Kurt was trolling me. I told him, is this you? I swear to God, I don't do this to me.
And then it can almost come with the pressure of like, well, you best impress us now.
Exactly.
Strikes of Michael Oku really affecting Takeshita. Oku boot to the
Pretty regular spot for you there, right? Great self for Takeshita.
Yeah. This is my everyday comeback.
Yep.
Which is a standard doing a DDT.
Takeshita kicks out Oku.
So I tell you, something there, like what is really impressive is the ease that you get up onto the top to hit that lion salt.
Takeshita.
Great spot.
Doing a top rope lion salt will be different from Chris Jericho, who's a big influence of mine.
What a ridiculous life of being like you're just saying there, Chris Jericho, big inspiration, and then, hey, you're in the 8-man with him, and then come on my cruise, and then also win my championship,
win my belt, become the Chris Jericho champion.
Wild when you go, well, what were my beginnings in under a railway arch in London to then Los Angeles to then being on a cruise, like all that sort of stuff. It's wild, and that's the pull of independent pro wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Pass by Takeshita. No.
Hell yeah.
Face of Michael Oku. Making the jog.
You do a very Rock-esque
God.
look up and around.
I've been found. I've been found out.
Exposed the secrets of Michael Oku for the world to hear. I assume that's quite a big influence on you, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, it's The Rock and Chris Jericho. Yeah. Those are my 2 favorite wrestlers of all time. Those are it. It's just
and Goldberg.
Obviously Goldberg, the trunk right there.
I can't wait for this jackhammer that you.
targeting. The knee strike. No, Oku. Oku hung on. The half crab.
Oh yeah, and a great moment. And now, as you were saying earlier on, there's 3 people that were clapping for you. And now you've got a lot of the audience coming up to feet and popping big for
a half Boston Crab.
Are you feeling this in the moment?
Yes. I'm feeling them, slowly win them over.
Yeah.
I think the first moment that I was winning them over was with the Lion Salt.
Yeah.
That's when they were like, oh, this is something cool.
Yeah.
And then just slowly building this up as a thing. And I hear it when I'm wrestling in front of new people. They see the crabs on the trunks, they hear Master of the Half Crab, and they're just like, oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, who'd use that? Who'd use a single one?
Yeah, and then when I'm able to put interesting ways to get into it, then I think it's cool. And then when they see this, like there's people standing up thinking, Takeshita was the favorite to win this tournament.
Yeah.
So I'm in with the person who they think is winning the tournament. And when they see this extension, there's enough people that are buying that I might make him tap out with a leg, which most people use as a leg rest hold.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I mentioned earlier from our match, like the great use of like frog splashes. And again, you've done it here where there's one to the back and then there's one that comes into the knees. Like it's a great build through. Something I'll say about Takeshita as well is like how clean of a placement that he has on everything is wild. His footwork is just top notch. Did you feel that in there when you were working him?
Yeah, he was just, it needed to be, every way it needed to be, it was so easy to wrestle, which is obviously the greatest compliment you can ever receive as a wrestler. Interesting here, he wanted that to be the finish.
Okay,
we put the match together and that was the finish.
Yeah.
This now.
Center the ring.
Could have easily done that. He would have still been moving.
Either man wants to give ground. Oh, both.
That's a great moment. Yeah.
I mentioned that they like the knee strikes, but
And I think you made absolutely the right call, and that's why you're getting brought in, and the way that this is pulling up, and the way that this is moving, the speed that it's now picking up into. It takes it from like a good match to a great match, which is then probably why like you get the next moments that come up and through.
Right, yeah.
kicking out at one on the lariat.
Bam, big jump into that.
This is where I'm charging up the gob
Yeah.
in my mouth.
Takeshita.
Bam. And you've gone from Boston, where people are there, to then we get out of it, everybody comes up, and the audience are absolutely erupting about it.
I think my main advice would be to tell myself to trust in yourself and trust in your decisions that you're making as a pro wrestler.
Perfect. Well, what a fantastic watch along, Mike. Thank you for coming down. Thank you for your insight into that. It's been wonderful. If you've enjoyed it, drop us a like. Let us know what match you preferred watching, or if there's any bits that came out of it that you've got questions about, please feel free to ask, and make sure you hit subscribe. I've been Liam, this has been Mike, this is PPW, and we'll see you soon.